Welcome to Pursuit of Passion, where I share with you at home recipes, tips, and techniques to give you the tools to cook memorable meals for you and your loved ones. And on today's premiere studio episode, thank you to Nutmeg TV for the opportunity, we're cooking pan-roasted chicken breast with a delicious Pommes Puree and some glazed carrots. Before we get going, just to introduce myself, I'm Chef Jamie Bordonaro. I'm the sous chef at Artisan Restaurant at the Delamar Hotel in West Hartford. I started my journey at the Culinary Institute of America in New York. Then I worked at several kitchens in New York City, including Boulay, Le Bernardin, and Picholine. And now I'm back home in Connecticut, sharing memorable meals for you and your loved ones. Let's get started. Here we have an airline chicken breast cut with the bone. Cooking chicken on the bone is much more flavorful and delicious. Very important, have your chicken nice and dry. We're going to season the skin side with salt. I typically won't put pepper on the skin side because spices tend to burn with high heat. And we will go ahead and flip our chicken over to the other side so that we can season the flesh side of the chicken. And on this side, I will use a little salt and fresh cracked black pepper. Now we'll add some canola oil to our hot pan. And you don't want the oil smoking. We don't want to burn the skin. We just want it nice and fluid. That tells us that we're ready to saute. Go ahead and place the chicken breast down in the pan. That sizzle is a great sign that tells us that the oil is hot enough and the skin won't stick. And I'm just going to gently put some pressure to the chicken breast so that it evenly contacts the surface of the pan, and we know we're going to get a nice even golden brown sear. So we're going to go ahead and take this to a nice golden brown, and then we'll place it in a 375-degree oven. Once it's been about 10 minutes, we'll flip our chicken over and finish cooking it on this beautiful bed of thyme, rosemary, and onion that will give it a nice aromatic finish. In the meantime, let's get our potatoes cooking. Beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes, which are absolutely perfect for Pommes Puree for their texture and starch content. We're going to start them unpeeled, rinsed, and place them in cold water that we will add kosher salt to. If you peel your potatoes before making mashed potatoes, they tend to turn out a bit bland due to the fact that potatoes are very porous, and therefore once you peel that skin, which protects them, you end up allowing them to absorb a lot of water. Now our chicken breast, we'll give that a nice check. And you can see the skin is beautifully golden brown. So what I'm going to do is then remove some of the oil from the pan so that while it's in the oven, it can render out the fat that is called the subcutaneous fat underneath the skin. And we're just going to place that in our oven, 375 degrees for 10 minutes. Now we'll place our potatoes on high heat and get those cooking. We're going to cook it at a gentle simmer, not too high of a heat. That would cook the outer layer of the potato quicker than the inside. And in the meantime, let's get to our glazed carrots. We have some beautiful organic baby carrots from Whole Foods that I have started to peel. Fresh carrot juice, which will add a ton of flavor to the finished product, and some beautiful Plugra butter. To glaze our carrots, we're going to use a sauteuse. The straight edges will allow the carrots to steam efficiently and thoroughly. And to give these a peel, I've already taken the liberty and peeled a few of them already. Very simply grasp in your hand, hold on to the green part, that'll help for stability. And just go ahead and peel from top to bottom. Use a flat surface, that'll make it a little easier. And we'll get as much of the root end here that can be a bit grimy as we can. And then once we finish peeling the carrot, we can go back with our paring knife to carefully go around the rim. It's not a necessity, but it is a nice touch. And we'll go ahead and add our carrot juice, about 2 cups, to the pan. That is nice and hot. Place that over high heat. We'll add in our butter. That's about 4 ounces of butter. That'll begin to melt and create a beautiful glazing liquid for our carrots to cook. We'll place our carrots into our cooking liquid and place a piece of parchment paper over the top. This will help steam the carrots and keep the surface of the carrots nice and moist, preventing them from drying out. And now that it's been about 10 minutes, we'll check on our roasting chicken breast. As you can see, we have a beautiful golden brown color on one side, and I'm going to go ahead and let it finish on this roasting pan with the thyme, rosemary, and onion for aromatic finish. And we'll put our carrots on the back burner as we begin to make our chicken pan sauce. So we already have some of that beautiful residual chicken fat that we'll use as a cooking medium for our aromatics to make the sauce. Right here we have some sliced shallot and minced garlic we'll add to the pan. And we're going to simply sweat those with a little bit of kosher salt until they're translucent. The moisture that's drawn out of the shallots will actually help to release some of these beautiful fond, or the proteins that were created when the chicken was seared, which will add a lot of flavor and depth to our sauce. And once we've sweated our aromatics down, we can go ahead and deglaze the pan with some white wine. And this is actually a Chablis that my friends over at Tilted Bottles in West Hartford suggested would be a perfect pairing for this chicken dish. So we'll go ahead and get that white wine in the pan. And we'll add another layer of seasoning in kosher salt. Adding the seasoning by layer helps to develop depth in your finished sauce. We'll bring this up to a simmer, reduce the liquid, in other words, evaporate some of the liquid to concentrate the flavor by about half. Once our wine has reduced, we will add in some beautiful chicken stock. That will be the main flavoring in this sauce. One more small pinch of kosher salt. And we will let this reduce again by about half. After that, we'll add in our butter for the finished product. In order to finish our pomme puree, once the potatoes are cooked and tender to the knife, we will eventually peel them, pass them through what's called a food mill. This is a really handy tool to have, great for making tomato sauce and removing the seeds, with a little bit of cold butter, and then finish it with some cream. Now that our liquid has reduced sufficiently, we'll add in our cold butter to finish our pan sauce. Once the butter is completely emulsified, we can set that aside and head back to our carrots. So let's take a peek at our carrots, and you can see once they are knife tender, they're ready to go. And you can see how the combination of the emulsification process with the carrot juice and the butter has created a nice glaze on our beautiful organic baby carrots. And we'll take our attention back to the potatoes for our pomme puree. I'm going to heat up some heavy cream, and we're going to begin to get ready to peel our potatoes now that they are knife tender. As stated before, I'm going to use our food mill to pass the peeled potato through with a little bit of cold Plugra butter. Altogether, it's about 12 ounces of cold butter. Once passed through the food mill, will help to create a beautiful emulsification with our potato. So we'll go ahead and grab our cooked potato using a nice side towel to protect your hand from the heat. And simply use a paring knife to pierce through the flesh and remove the skin from the potato. And then go ahead and cut your potato into pieces so it goes through the food mill seamlessly. Before the food mill gets overfilled, we go ahead and start passing our potatoes through with the butter. And again, putting the cold butter in rather than melting the butter will help it to create a much more smooth emulsification. Now we're going to add some of this beautiful hot heavy cream into the mix to get an ideal texture. And then in order to obtain a more finessed and delicious texture, we're going to pass it through this tamis here, also called a drum sieve. We'll go ahead and give our mixture a nice thorough whisking. And finally pass it through our tamis to remove any remaining lumps or impurities. And just like that, we have a beautiful, smooth Pommes Puree. And lastly, our chicken is now finally roasted over the bed of aromatics. We have a beautiful crispy skin, and it's ready to go on the plate. We'll start this plating out with a generous portion of our beautiful Pommes Puree. And of course, we can't skip out on the veggies, so we'll put a few of our beautiful glazed baby carrots right alongside those creamy, decadent potatoes. And for presentation purposes, we'll give our chicken a nice slice. When you go to slice a protein like chicken that has a nice delicate skin, you want to put it skin side down. That'll allow you to slice through the meat without ripping the skin or rupturing the presentation of the beautiful crispy skin. And just like that, we have beautiful slices of this gorgeous pan roasted chicken breast. And I'll place that right on top of our Pommes Puree. Give the plate a little cleanup. And alas, finish with our beautiful sauce. And you can strain the sauce if you prefer. I like to leave the shallots and garlic in there for texture and added flavor. I hope I've inspired you today to cook a memorable meal for you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can check out the full recipe if you head to www.pursuitofpassion.net. You can also link to some YouTube videos, part of my YouTube channel, Pursuit of Passion. Thank you so much, and please be well on your pursuit of passion.
When we think of an iconic New England town green, we think of the place where people got together and maybe heard some music, heard someone give a speech, maybe get an award. Times have changed, but the digital town green still brings all those stories, all those voices back to a central location. Nutmeg TV has been providing community television for over 30 years. We provide great facilities and training and equipment to allow anyone to come in and produce TV programming for the community.
Whether you're a college student looking to get into this industry or a senior citizen looking to learn a new skill set, we've made our equipment accessible to anybody.
Nutmeg TV is a family, and we embrace diversity, and we work with folks from all walks of life. And it's our job to make these studios available for anyone to use. We educate folks in how to do TV production, podcasting, etc., and so they can go on to other careers in the TV business. Nutmeg TV is really blessed to have a great group of folks who work here. We have a culture at Nutmeg TV that is set from the moment you walk in the door for positivity all day long. Each and every day, we are affecting the community in which we live. We needed some studio upgrades, and we were able to get a grant with the state of Connecticut, but we needed that extra bit of cash in order to get over the hump. As you know, technology is very costly, and we needed to do that. And Ion Bank believed in us. They believed in us, they believed in the project. They came down, they took a look at what we needed, and they said, you know what, we can help get you the rest of the way. As a result of Ion Bank's financial help, we've been able to help others move on in a field that's difficult to get experience in. It's very important when you're a business that works in the community and for the community that you're working with partners who understand who you are. And Ion Bank does that. They walk with us every day. Community is important, and Ion gets community, and they get Nutmeg TV. It's community banking at its best.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, hoy, hoy, hoy!